Hey everyone, Donna Nelson here. I am the Life and Empowerment Coach to purpose-driven leaders, business innovators, and conscious change makers who want to make an impact and change leading from within. So today is episode 15 and I'm going to share with you my thoughts on power versus empowerment. I actually get this, it comes up quite a lot actually, in my conversations with people in power or who want to have others say submit or follow policy or whatever. And it always comes up in this idea of control and power from feeling empowered or having this intrinsic drive from within to create change. So today I thought would be a really interesting day to talk about power versus empowerment, and I would love to hear your ideas and thoughts on this as it relates to history in the making today here in the United States. So once again, we have made history in another presidential election, which is very exciting because being a person of possibilities and teaching breakthroughs, I love to see these kinds of histories, breakthroughs, if you will, because what it does is it expands our minds to possibilities and it helps us break through limitations of our thoughts and beliefs and our attitudes which we had prior to this experience. So while that may be a whole other topic, what does that have to do with power versus empowerment? Well, as we have changed from a Republican president to a Democrat president, and maybe more importantly, in talking about power versus empowerment, today, I think we can agree, if anyone has watched the inauguration at all, that women really took the center stage today. And today, in making history, Kamala Harris, our vice president, the first female vice president of the United States and the very first minority woman vice president of the United States. So, and then to continue on with another beautiful historic moment, Amanda Gorman, the youngest inaugural poet. And then all of the women who performed today really allowed women to take center stage at this inauguration. So while I will absolutely, in full disclosure, tell you, I did not watch 2 minutes of it. But what I do know is that today, from all the social media and all of the media that I have read as a follow-up before, during, and after, is that people were super excited about glass ceilings being broken, and for all the different reasons, because of minority status and because of female status, and coming back into a Democratic presidency again. And for that, it brought me to how we feel about power. And what is it that really makes us feel more powerful in this status, having a female in this role that has never existed before, being back in power in a Democratic presidency. So I want to talk about the difference between power and empowerment, and have you consider for a moment, how does this now today, new breakthrough, this new glass ceiling shattered, whatever it means to you, and it has nothing to do with which side of the aisle you're on. It really has nothing to do with that. So, but how does this now make you feel? more powerful? Or what does it mean to you in the sense of being empowered, or our country being empowered? So let's just break down for a hot second what the difference is between power and empowerment. So power is about control. And power from an individual, or, well, we can't even say an organization or an institution because they're all led by people. Is coming from the ego, right? So it's about power, it's about influence, it's manipulation, and people in power can be brilliant. This doesn't mean that it makes them bad people, or anything. It could be status, it could be a lot of different things, but it always is coming from a place of control, and it's always coming from an external force. So power, even when we want to be in power, right? And that could be coming from lots of different places. As a parent, we want to be in power, right? Because we want our kids to do what we want them to do when we want them to do it, right? Maybe as a manager of an organization, you want power because you want your people to perform certain behaviors in a certain way at a certain time. And in relationships, I mean, it just, coming from a place of, if you do this, then I'll do that. That's all power. So, and power has lots of attachments and obligations. So, okay, and for people that are living in a place of power and not empowerment, which I'll tell you now, is living in illusion, right? So they're just not living in reality. So, but empowerment, on the other hand, is really very personal versus when I'm talking about personal empowerment, right? It's coming from a place of consciousness versus coming from ego. And it's something that we embody. So I think that a great example of being empowered instead of feeling in power today was the poet, right? I just forgot her name all of a sudden. Amanda Gorman. That woman is empowered. You can hear it in her message. You could hear it in her voice, in the words that she used. She was certain that it was within her. Even in, which has of course been all over every social media outlet, everybody's timeline, on Facebook, about being the light, having the courage to see the light. And that's just it. When you're empowered, you see the light because you know you are the light. And that's the difference. One of the subtle differences. So it's something we embody as opposed to relying on external things, people, experiences to give us something in return to have a particular outcome. It's about taking self-responsibility and knowing that no matter what happens, no matter who the president is, no matter what the party is, no matter who or the race of the president or the vice president, we are okay because we are empowered as people, as a nation, and that comes from within. So, of course, that's a choice, right? To choose to be empowered or to choose the hard road of power. So, empowered people don't wait, meaning I'm not waiting on the next president. I'm not waiting on until my boss gets fired. I'm not waiting on until this experience happens. Empowered people know that life is within their control and they move forward in action regardless. So they're not waiting they're not blaming external situations, and they're not waiting on external situations. And they know that status and position and their feelings are not reliant on things outside of them. And the empowered person has few attachments and has healthy boundaries. Unlike the person who is in power or wanting power or exerting power, has lots of attachments and obligations. So with that, presidency or no presidency, inauguration, no inauguration, political affiliation or not, looking at today, really though, what does today really represent for you from a place of, do you feel like now our country has more power? Do you feel like somehow it gives you more personal power, having had this breakthrough in our country of having a minority vice president, a female minority vice president? How does that elevate you? How does that elevate your life? What is that going to really change for you? Does it give you a greater sense of personal empowerment and confidence to know that now more is possible, that more consciousness is here? Or does it not change anything because you understand power versus empowerment? Okay, so that's my wisdom lesson for today. This was Rooted in Wisdom, A Daily Dose of Donna, episode 15, Power versus Empowerment. See you next time.